Okay, just gonna cover. I went through my trades this morning, some of the trades I'm in, and made just a little watch list, or not really a watch list, just a list of things that have been interesting, and I'll walk through those. I'm in a lot of these, and a few of them I'm not in, but they all have either they're starting to look up, or they've had a good run, or something interesting. So I'll start off with Bloom, which is probably the symbol I've covered the most, and there's really not too much to update. It's been fantastic. It's coming up to this 1.0 Fibonacci extension. Hopefully, I've got this drawn roughly right. I'm not going to use the magnet. Looks like maybe a little higher here. If this is an impulse, we kind of expect it to go a little further. Really, I mean, I don't expect it to stop here, but this was the first real big milestone we're coming up to. So this has been a good run. Starting to see this land in some ETFs, some active ETFs, and getting some coverage in the news. So this one's been real good. We are, if we put a pivot in here, or even we could even run higher, and we could have maybe a little sign of divergence here on the RSI. Starting to show up on the weekly. I haven't looked at the daily in a little while. We've had divergence on the daily here for a while, so we'll see where this goes. No immediate red flags, but definitely watching it. Yeah, not much different with Bloom. Just straight up for now. I'll go on to Plug. I'm going to be pretty quick on these fuel cell tickers. Not too much has changed with them. So um, Plug is it did the 382, and if you watched any of my previous coverages, my plan for Plug and Ballard was to get myself in a position where I could hit the 382 and have a risk-free position and let it go from there. And so we have hit the 382, so I have some risk-free positioning in this one. Um, I really want to see another high here, which is, this is swimming upstream. Look, this monthly 18 period moving average is pointing down. So I do realize this is extremely counter trend. Um, and in the shorter term here, this looks, I would say, like a three wave move. I bet if we measure this, they're symmetrical. They look symmetrical. We can take a look here just to see. Yeah, so this made it up just above the 1.0. So really, to feel really good about this, I'd like to see it at least marginally chop out this high and then come in, as opposed to putting in a lower high here and going down. I don't think that'd be a very good look if that happens. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to make any rash um, changes to how I've traded this one. Like I said, I got in wherever I got in here. It's on my spreadsheet somewhere. Um, Managed to get the uh, risk-free position, trail a stop, and then with hopes that maybe this will make new highs. But if you watched my earlier videos on these, I don't come into these with an enormous amount of confidence. I really liked the volume, but I didn't really like the price pattern. So this one's just a wait and see. I definitely don't have my hopes too high, but will be fantastic if this low was in. I'm actually going to skip CRON here. I want to let's go ahead and do the fuel cell stuff first. So Ballard is pretty much the same situation here. Had the same game plan, same everything. This is a very similar pattern to Plug, as I've already mentioned. And again, this is a symmetrical move only up to the 1.0. So I'd really like to see this kind of put in a marginal new high before selling off, just so it has more of an impulsive look to it. Right now, I'm not so sure. So we'll see. More to come on that. Um, and then FCEL. FCEL's actually been looking pretty good. I like the shape here. I like this doesn't look symmetrical. So like if I draw up a fib on this, um, before I try to sound too bullish, please note this is in a context of swimming upstream, right? Look at these moving averages. This is a bearish chart. This monthly chart is bearish. Um, but again, because I have a particular interest in this sector, I've traded this maybe against what I would typically do, trying to get some good positioning, and I love the volume. So let's just draw this out. This one is definitely I like the short-term pattern a little bit better. Yeah, you can see it took out that 1.236. So this one, just like the others, it still needs that other high, but this at least doesn't have that symmetrical look to it, that corrective look to it. It looks like it might be impulsive, and the volume's really good. So hopefully this will do like one more high and then sell off, or maybe it'll do something huge and then it doesn't. However it does it, I just want to see another high. And I'll be feeling pretty good about this one. It might even be one, if we can get a nice fifth wave and then a three-wave pullback, I'd be willing to risk whatever I've made on this and double down and maybe try for something higher. I don't know. I'm gonna play it on the day by day, but it's looking good. Looks better, but again, I mean, we're coming right into. This couldn't be pointed more down. So nice divergence here. There are things to like on this chart, mostly the volume. Okay, so that's it for fuel cell stuff. I'm gonna go over. I've got this CRON set up in the MJ sector. And it looks pretty good. The monthly moving average is starting to turn around, starting to pop up with some DI readings over 20. And it looks like a 5-wave move coming off this low here. This one, I mean, maybe this is some type of 5-wave diagonal. It's pretty choppy, but this is looking good. I have this in a couple different accounts, and I want to say it's risk-free because I traded it on the daily or something like that. I'm gonna double check that real quick. Forgive my screen here. Yep, I have that as a risk-free position. More to come on this one. It's looking pretty good. Good volume. Moving averages look good. The counts look pretty good. Lots of room here on the monthly. Nice low ADX period here that's starting to show up. So we'll see. This one looks really pretty good. This is one I'm in that's not looking quite so hot. I've been in this one for way too long, and I think I'm still underwater on it by a little bit here. This CYBN, it's some type of medical hallucinogenic, or I don't know how to speak the speak. That makes it sound terrible, but some type of medical mushrooms or something like that. Again, I don't know a lot about everything I trade, only areas that I take particular interest in. But again, like the volume at the lows after this nice strong move up. So look good. I think I got in. I'd have to look here, but I doubt it was this high. But I definitely went pretty underwater on it. I gave it a lot of room though, where I'm just kind of trading upstream. What is this at for a retracement? I definitely traded this more on the Fibonacci look than the momentum look. This is drawn backwards. Bear with me. So this is kind of right in an area interest rate at the 618. So I don't know. I probably put my stop like under a 786 or something like that. I can't remember. But definitely underwater on this. But we had a pretty good week volume wise. We got a little bit of push out of the low here, a little higher low against this peak with lots of volume. So it's looking pretty good. MACD. I guess it crossed just barely. Again, I don't look for a cross as a buy signal, but it's good to see it. You typically need a cross before my buy signal, so this looks okay. It definitely has some work to do to get me above water on this one, but it looks interesting. Definitely an interesting area. Would like to read about it a little more. Another one that I've struggled with a little bit, not too underwater on this one. I entered it maybe a couple weeks ago. I don't know. August sounds roughly right, but this has a good monthly look. It's just starting to turn the corner after the huge sell-off from the craziness that was 2020 with a little pinch. And then we got a little pinch here. Looks like it overran just a little bit if you look at the histogram. The volume look isn't quite as dramatic as some. We do have some elevated volume at the lows here, which is good. I'd like to see a little more, but it looks fine. And I do like the moving average turning up and price chopping on it. That's usually a pretty good look. It wouldn't be crazy to see it, do a quick shoot down, take out this low, and then make a move. But hopefully not. I'd love to just see it go. But definitely another one that I'm a little bit underwater on. And a third one, uh, this one we had a good week. This Moderna setup, so this was a deep retracement after the 2020 highs. I think this thing's down like 90% or something like that. It's down a lot. Yeah, 95% off the highs. Down in an area of interest for sure. Interesting at the 618, it didn't even really do anything on the monthly chart. You get a little price action on the weekly, but usually you'll see a little, at least try and base there, and then maybe it fails and goes lower. But this thing didn't even really try here. Though I suppose if you if you drew this out, you could kind of forecast that it wouldn't hold there. If you use your kind of most probable extension, the 1.0 extension did come in below the 618, so that gives a slight edge to it going lower. Not that it can't do an asymmetric correction and then stop at the 618, but I think you have to put your base case as excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I think you have to put your base case as it's going to go to that 1.0, and it actually hasn't yet. It's still, I wouldn't be shocked to see it throw, and I think I've mentioned this in another video, but throw a wick down and actually fulfill this and then go. But we'll see what happens in the most recent week. Though we had a lot of volume come in, which is good, and biotechs in general are starting to look really, really, really good. And this week there was one huge day here. This was a 13% day here on it. So these are the bars you want to see at the lows and with the volume. So we'll see. I think I am roughly around break even, maybe a little above water, a little below on this. So more to come on that. We'll see. Definitely a top watch right now. RIVN, another one that I am underwater on this one, and what a weird pattern this is. I have no idea what to make of this. I've been pretty into China stocks, and most of them have gone pretty well. Baba's gone well, KWeb's gone well, FXI's gone well. Always wanted to have a position in Baidu, but I've never really been able to make it happen. That chart got pretty tough to trade there for a while, and eventually I was just like, this one's gonna go without me, and that's fine. So I don't have anything in Baidu. I'm in Neo. I have a good position in Neo. That one looks really good. I'm trying to think if there's some others. But anyway, RIVN. I don't really know what's going on here. I've kind of lost any edge I thought I had on this chart. It's looks like a triangle. Obviously, it almost looks too perfect to be a triangle, whatever that means, right? It's just such a strange pattern. But the moving average is starting to turn around. MACD is above. I would kind of expect MACD to kind of come in a little bit here. We'll see in the monthly chart. Weekly chart, this choppy triangle looking thing, don't really know what to make of it. Love to just see it break out here in a big way, and then maybe these are stacked ones and twos or something. I have no idea. But if this is a triangle, the trend is down, so I'd sort of expect it to resolve down, unfortunately, because I'm in it. But we got a good look. MACD 0 line test here, which is a good place to set up a move from. In the short term, I haven't really looked at this in the short term. Ended the week with a nice big green candle. Good MACD look here. If this can come up and then back test, then maybe we can get something going. But it's early. So yeah, that's RIVN, another one that's kind of meh for me right now. Love their cars. I've never driven one. They look cool though. I see them on the road. I'm seeing them more and more, which doesn't mean prices will go up, right? Like I am so far past trying to correlate reality with price. So yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me. But they're cool looking rigs for sure. JD. So this one, I actually have this in a couple different accounts. I have a retirement trade on this and a brokerage trade. I think I'm just above water on this one. So this one is still really early. Great look here with the 18 turn in here. We had some pretty bearish ADX readings here, but they actually didn't match the preceding strength. So we'll see what happens with this one. It's definitely starting to show some good volume. on the monthly, and then on the weekly, this most recent higher low is, a lot of volume taking place here. A lot of volume with this nice big green candle here. And what I like about this green candle is that it's early in the move. I don't I see a big green candle and I'm generally bullish, but if it's like really late in the move, I'm not quite as bullish. I'd rather see it coming off a moving average than kind of out in space. So yeah, this one's looking pretty good. I guess they're a pretty big company. Yeah, I don't know too much about them, but they're like, I guess an Amazon for China, and I think they're cheap enough. I don't know. If you care about that sort of thing. Yeah, 9 PE is pretty low typically. Depends on the sector probably, but I think universally a 9 is pretty low. I'm not a fundamental guy. I can't tell you. I got no idea. Yeah, good looking chart. I think this one's gonna go. So we'll see. Right now, what is this? Just 3 waves? Yeah, just 3 waves. So we'll see. I don't know. Looks good. Okay, I'm gonna show you a couple. This NIKL. This one makes me sad because I really wanted to get into this, and I was never. It's just a V shape, just a V shape. I will readily admit I tried to take this off a low and lost a trade on it and got sour to the point where I told myself I'm only gonna take this if it sets up, and it really hasn't set up for me at all. It hit the low and it's gone straight up. So this is just a case of, sometimes things go without you, right? And this one definitely went so far without me, and it's kind of a strange pattern too. Like I don't really know what to do. I don't really know what to do with it. I mean, it's moved a lot, but there's not a lot of pivots. So I really don't know what to make of this move at all. It looks like it might be a little symmetrical. Let's see. I'm not sure. I don't know if I've done this or not. Let's call that. It looks like. Um, well, it hasn't done a full one yet. So, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this one. We did get a lot of volume up here at the high, so maybe this is going to come back in. But given all this volume and the lack of price movement, I mean, and maybe it's just going to go higher. Like maybe this is just people getting in for a higher move. With this much volume and that little downside movement with it, it's not as bearish as maybe the volume showing up just before the top and then a high volume wick, and then it goes. This is a little bit interesting. So on the monthly chart, it does look a little bit bearish, right? Because it is all the volume is at the highs, but just looking at the weekly and how they've played out, I don't really know. This is a really cool one, really cool sector. I don't know too much about it, and I will say, like, if you want to play nickel, your options are limited, unless you do like I guess futures or something. There's a lot of funds that have like a nickel component in them, but as far as a pure play, it's pretty tough. I did do a little bit of um, surface level research on nickel, and apparently it's quite abundant. So yeah, I don't know what that means. It's kind of a weird story. I'm into batteries a little bit. I have a lot of trades in battery sector, and I know nickel's in a lot of that stuff. So I was thinking, well, it's maybe a good place to be. So I was surprised to read that it's actually quite abundant and there's a surplus of it. But again, that's surface level reading. Don't read too much into that. And this chart's tough. Like I don't know. I'm bummed out I didn't get in it, but it really just a V shape. So happy to let it play out, and maybe it'll let me in someday in the future. And if it doesn't, there's opportunities everywhere. Sometimes you miss them, right? That brings me to MACY, which is a really cool chart, and I'm not in it, and I'm being really, really particular about my entry, though. It is challenging because I really like this long term pattern, right? This topped out in 21 here, and it's just traded sideways on really low volume after this nice 5 wave looking move up, and we're breaking this trend line. Um, this thing just looks excellent. So I'm kind of hoping that this is gonna give me a nice pullback on the monthly at this point. Um, we had this little tiny weekly pullback, and it just wasn't enough to convince me For one, I'm kind of viewing this like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if that's right, which is always a big if, I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe it'll top out and give us a little ABC, and I can get it a little closer to these moving averages down here. That's my plan for this one, and I really want to get into this one because it looks like something that could work for years, right? This is I'm kind of just noticing this now, but this pattern, does it look like Bloom set up a little bit? I think it might. A little bit, right? They're pretty similar. This is how Bloom played out, and you can see this is what I'm hoping Macy's will do as well. So they're kind of similar. They're similar patterns, and yeah, this looks fantastic. So if you like the Bloom chart, keep watching this one. Not financial advice. This thing could go to zero. I don't know anything about Macy's. It's a retail store. I don't know why it would be super bullish, especially where the economy's supposedly, with layoffs and all that, seems like something that would do terrible. But I always kind of like those stories where it seems like they should be terrible, and so the stock just goes up. I don't know why it's like that. It's just how it is. So yeah, this is definitely a top watch. It is hard not to FOMO into this one a little bit, but I am going to be frugal and wait for a setup that I really like on this weekly chart. I don't really care about the daily too much. Yeah, daily is putting in divergences. So this might, well, let me say, candidate divergences. You can't call a divergence if it hasn't actually gone down, right? But if it went down from this, you'd have a nice daily divergence. So maybe it would undercut and give me an entry on the weekly. So more to come. I mean, you could take it right now, though, and the risk reward would be pretty good, right? If I put I'm going to do this real quick. Let's just say you do something like that. I mean, yeah, it was almost a 1 to 5 risk reward. So, yeah, good chart, for sure. And then another one that hasn't gone so well, and if you could kind of pick a theme, like I'm just trying to show, not all this stuff goes perfectly. This is probably the worst one I'm in, and I jumped the gun on this one. The volume, you probably get by now. This is I like things that are putting in lows with volume, and so this is doing that. The retracement's a little bit shallow, but where a lot of solar stocks are going, I was thinking, well, I might just throw in at a Fibonacci level, and maybe I can catch a low. And it's been rough. We had a rough day this week. Did it take out the low? It's hard to tell. Low 29.89 against 29.96, but this is a pretty full-bodied candle, right? I have to expect this is probably going to take a little trip lower, and it sort of makes sense if you look. It hasn't fulfilled this extension target, assuming I drew it right. I don't know. I actually may have drew it, if anything, too shallow. So yeah, I think this one's gonna go down a little bit more. I don't know where my stop is. I think I was about halfway to my stop, so there's a pretty big risk that I'm gonna lose this in phase one, and I'll jump back in. Sometimes if I take trades just on volume and fib levels, without a little more confirmation, this stuff happens. So I don't know what happens. They had a good earnings and revenue. I guess maybe some bad forecasts or something. Couldn't tell you. Somebody didn't like it, or at least that's what the news will say. But it might just be that it's got to fulfill this price target, and then it'll go. I do think this one's going to turn soon. This looks very symmetrical. We have volume at the lows. It might just need to probe a little lower here and there. I don't know what they do. Something to do with alternative energy. So I think that's probably enough. Watching the gold chart, we'll see how that plays out. My base case is after the big, and it's big on a percentage term. It's actually not that big of a pullback relative to the move it's had. I'm thinking we have a counter trend upside move right now, and then maybe some lower lows before the actual up move begins. But who knows, right? It could just be over. So watching that one closely, just managing trades, and hope you enjoyed this. Again, not financial advice. Also, just note been looking at monthly, weekly setup. So every one of these candles on the right has been a week. Every one of these candles on the left has been a month. So these, these take a while to materialize. So just keep that in mind. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.